Ajá, abajo. Abajo hay uno. Yogur de mango. Yeah. Hello, hello, everybody. I'm here pulling a all-nighter. This is session number 5 of today's episode. We have a actually Efren is getting a touch-up done, and he's leaving tomorrow back to California. So we have to make sure that he gets his session, be his touch-up session after I think 3 years. So I'm gonna wait for some of you guys to jump on here and to talk about SMP. Please like this video. Make sure you subscribe. So what we're doing today is called Scalp Micropigmentation, and we will be showing you guys how we do SMP. This is a procedure that helps men and women with hair loss. This is considered like the ultimate resort, the ultimate resource to obtain um, to fix their hair loss. So a lot of times, what we do is we look at every case and we like to make sure that we provide with the proper information. If you see that you're just experiencing hair loss currently, like within a year or two, we typically recommend doing treatments first so we can regain some of the hair follicles that you've already lost or weakened. Some of the things that I like to do is to make sure that you're at least somewhere from 3 to 6 months on treatment. That way, if we're able to see any results, we can continue. But a combination of both of what we're going to be doing right now, it's a good method to be able to tackle the hair loss and be able to see results right away. So with SMP, it's instant results. It usually takes 3 to 4 sessions long, and a lot of times with 2 sessions should be just enough. So if you're already here in the live, please. You can't hear me. Can you hear me now? 1 2 1 2. Can anybody hear me? Can you go on the live and see if you can hear me? How about now? Can you hear me better? Can anybody comment? If you guys can hear me? Yeah. All right, I get thumbs up. Thank you for that. So we're about to start the procedure. Just usually when we do SMP on a shave look, what we do first is that we work on the haircut. In this case, I did his beard and also I shaved his head. As you can see, I do have SMP on myself. SMP is a form of a tattoo, and what this does, it gives you the look of a shaved head. I suffered of hair loss when I was 18 years old, and at the time I didn't know anything about hair loss, so I didn't tackle my hair loss on time. So whenever I started researching, it was already too late, and the only options I had was SMP or hair transplant. A hair transplant for me didn't wasn't gonna work because I did not have enough donor area to cover the top. And what ended up happening was either if I were to get a transplant, I would have to get a hairline up here. And in reality, I did not like that because it wasn't gonna fix my issue. I was still gonna feel self-conscious about my loss. So I decided to go with SMP. Um, so a touch up typically it depends on how big the work we have to do, but it usually takes in between an hour to 4 hours. We like to prorate it accordingly to the amount of time that we put, also about the area. So it could start somewhere from 300 a session all the way up to 1,000 a session. But that's just me just giving you just random numbers. But in reality, at the end of the day, when it comes to touch-ups, I like to offer a follow-up session, so we know for sure that it healed really nice. And I also like to give warranty, and the warranty entails on making sure that once it heals and you like it, and if we have to do an additional session or additional touch-up, we would include it into the full price, even though it's just the touch-up only requires one session, or sometimes for some people it can require two. um Ant Man, thank you so much for the kind words. Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to do this past couple of months. This is actually my second month trying to go on live, trying to show who I am. That way you guys can know who I am, my personality. I'm trying to do more raw footage so you guys can see what we do here. And if you guys have any questions and concerns, you guys are more than welcome to either subscribe to my channel or to also reach out to us directly. Um, this is one of the procedures that I like to do. I've been doing this for 10 years now, and this procedure has been evolving every year. We always try to do the best technique, and also I try to inform the everybody that's suffering of hair loss to guide them for their best results. Meaning, because a lot of times, whenever people see SMP, they actually tend to see or tend to think that SMP is a hair transplant or it can grow hair because it looks so natural. And a lot of people tend to ask me like, "Hey, you have a full head of hair. Why don't you let your hair grow?" But in reality, once I tell them it's a hair tattoo, they end up being really surprised and overwhelmed. Like, "Oh wow, that looks really real." So, but yeah, so we got a friend right here. He's about to lay down here in the bed so we can go ahead and get started in his procedure. I'm actually gonna show you guys what we're doing right now. In his case, he actually had already a session. About when was the last time you had a procedure done?
The last time, sorry, been a while. For like 2 years?
2 years.
2 years.
So as you can see, what I ended up doing in him, I actually did his beard. I fitted it into from bald all the way down to his natural beard hair growth, and I also what you see right here. This is SMP for from about 5 years. And what I'm gonna do is just to pretty much just add more density, try to blend in a little bit more. He have lost some of the impressions, and the reason why is because of his scalp. His scalp, he's a very oily scalp, and a lot of times if impressions are really superficial, they tend to the immune systems tend to break the pigment down a lot faster. So it does require touch-ups, and one of the things that I like to do is to make sure that we're able to either add more impressions in the area on the empty areas, or just replicate or reinforce some of those impressions. So right now, what I'm gonna do is to apply the moisturizer. I actually shampooed his scalp to make sure we're able to get to remove um, some of that oily scalp. That way, I could have more of like a clean canva. So that way, I could be able to put my impressions the right way on the right depth. So being about 5 years since he had a last touch up, um, this is a good time for him to redo his SMP and also be able to work on areas that are empty or has the impressions disappeared and blend a lot more. So this is to more to enhance and to also be able to give him um, work on those small areas. He actually had a laser done before about 5 years ago, and where we actually removed everything, all his previous work. He had a he didn't have a botch work per se, but he it didn't look right. It didn't look up to the standards of the SMP that we're putting out. So when you're meeting with somebody that's actually trying to get a procedure done and they see your SMP and they see that it's not a good work or good quality work, obviously they're gonna be suspicious and be like, hey, how come you're providing good work but your SMP doesn't live up to par? So I like to put a little bit of numbing sometimes. In his case, we're not gonna do that just because it's a little bit too late and he's fine with the pain. It doesn't pain as much as a tattoo, but it does have a little bit of a pain, which a lot of times, a lot of us, we actually rate it about a 4 out of 10, sometimes 3 out of 10, and especially in the back, you don't really feel it. Some people actually like the sensation of the needle whenever we're working on the back. Guys, make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe. This is really important to us because we're trying to make awareness of this procedure, especially for those that are suffering of hair loss that have no other option but to go into the cosmetic part. So you want me to go with what size? 6 or 8? Since I'm asking the client because he's actually SMP artist as well, so I'm basically doing his what he wants me to do.
Oh, yeah, thanks for that.
A while ago, we actually did an interview about Efren. If you guys don't know who he is, he's actually one of the best artists in the southern area of LA or California,
Southern California.
Southern California. And yeah, any questions or anybody who's from that area, you can make sure you can subscribe to this channel and ask us for his info, and I'll be glad to share his info as well. If you guys have any questions about what we're gonna do, you can comment here, and I'll be glad to answer every single one of you guys. I have a friend right here also on the live, so you can see this is a really small needle, really tiny needle, and you want to make sure you use the right prompt because you want to make sure that it looks just like a hair follicle. Can you guys hear me okay? Once again, thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys. I really do appreciate it. Please like this video. It doesn't cost you guys anything. Subscribe as well if you guys are intrigued to know more about this process. Feel free to go into our YouTube channel and look at some of the testimonials, videos, or what we do. This procedure can be for anybody, any type of hairline design. It could also be for women who are suffering of thinning hair loss, and it's definitely going to help achieve better results. My friend here already has SMP for more than 10 years. So, and overall, he has done about 6 sessions of SMP almost. And like as you can see, his SMP, it looks done. It looks like he doesn't need one, but we always like to touch it up to make sure that we're able to work on detail work. That way it can continue to look undetectable. Some of the most common questions when it comes to SMP is like, okay, so what happens when your hair turns gray? And I always see, like today, I've actually seen this question a lot. And in reality, because of SMP, how it's superficial into the skin, whenever your hair turns gray and you shave, the gray hairs doesn't show. It doesn't stand out. When you let your hair grow, that's when your hair will stand out. So one of the things that I tell everybody, if you're gonna If you're planning on getting SMP, the shaved look effect, you want to make sure that you cut your hair short to avoid those grays to show.
They say they can't hear you right now. Hold your mic.
You can't hear me? Can you hear me now?
There you go.
How about now? Can you hear me now?
A little bit better. It's probably more cool because you covered it with your arm.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so this process is very superficial. It's if you get the procedure done right, and let's say later down the road you want to change it or you want to remove it, it only takes a session or two to remove it. So there's no precautions into obtaining this procedure. And we also offer laser removal here for those who had a botch work by somebody else or those who wants to change the hairline. Can you guys comment on here where you guys are from? What state are you guys in? We would like to give you guys a shout out here. Want to make sure that we able to connect with everyone that's watching. California.
I think it looks real nice when it's freshly done.
Yeah, it looks real, and once it heals, it should look really nice too. So if you get it done by a good provider, it should definitely look nice either or. Difference between heal results versus um, fresh is the light, how light it looks. So essentially, with SMP tends to lighten up when it heals about 20 to 30% of the pigment color that you choose. A lot of people tends to have a misunderstanding on SMP. They think that they can blend it in with long hair, but the reality is that I would never um, I would never take that as as a base or as an example to be able to obtain good results, because a lot of people they think by going darker is gonna look better, but in reality over time the pigment tends to change color. The pigment color should be addressed by the tone of the skin complexion and also taking in consideration the color of the hair, but not as much as the skin and the undertones. I'll go closer so you guys can see better. So we're not going to work on his temp areas and blending it into his existing hair so we can have a uniform outcome. Blending is really important. I see a lot of people that gets SMP done and they don't apply any type of blending, and the procedure tends to look pretty, tends to create a line or demarcation, and that's one of the things you want to avoid. You want to make sure that the SMP looks as natural as possible.
It's a really good view right there. You can see the blending.
You know,
Yeah. Looks good. I like how that profile, how the profile looks like broken, like that.
mm.
I like that look. Looks good. Notice how the impressions look close and they match that of the hair follicles. So if he overdoes it, it won't match. It'll look very saturated and it won't match.
It says, "What is your job?" My job is to replicate hair follicles. This procedure is called scalp micropigmentation, aka a hair tattoo.
You can actually go on the live that we had earlier talking about what we do and why we do it. Just want to check that out. Drop a comment.
Once again, guys, subscribe. Make sure you like this video. We would totally appreciate your support. Even though if you don't suffer of hair loss, at least the like would impact a lot and will help a lot of people.
You guys, it's real easy to share. You guys click on the top of the link where it says at Scalp Micro Clinic. Click on that, and it's very easy to share with other people via message, WhatsApp. It's very easy to share this video with anyone that you guys know that might need this process. They will definitely thank you later.
Once again, make sure you like this video, subscribe, share it with anybody that you think that needs any hair loss solution. This is how essentially will blend in, would make this procedure look uniform by going in and blending into his existing hair.
Well, the one that's it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. It's not too dark. So we're doing scalp micropigmentation. It's a form of a hair tattoo, and we're giving it the illusion of hair. This is not meant to regrow your hair. This is meant more to give you a shadow, a 5 p.m. shadow of a shaved look. A lot of people think that this is a hair transplant, and a lot of people also think that it's real hair. So it's a great option for anybody who's suffering of hair loss. Could also be for men and women.
I thought about the 8 in the front, but I feel like that would be a little bit too much, huh?
What?
I thought about the 8 in the front, but that'd be too much, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm?
A little bit. Can you guys comment where you guys are from? I'd like to know. That way we can give you guys a shout out. We are located in Greensboro, North Carolina, on the East Coast. Make sure you guys like it, like this video, subscribe.
Those feet are like everything like one is smooth.
Yeah.
It's like the little spot where they don't feel anything like the laser. The laser hurts for sure.
What's the pain level right now?
Right now it's like a 3. It's not pain, it's just like a little pinch, you know? Compared to the laser, man, the laser's like a 20.
Mm-hmm.
Doing good, boss. I'm really happy you're doing good. I think it's like, what, it's really late over here. I think it's like 10. Right there, it feels good, like, it feels good right there, not good right there. I know, that's what I'm trying to close my eyes. what was the last time that you pushed up your SMP? Was it like last year?
But you did
Or
like a little bit.
still there, right? Still front, no?
I want a little more.
Still in the front. So then yours, what do you want to do? Like reinforce?
No, I want to blend more. I want to shave it completely, like completely bald.
Okay. So blend it more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but if we're gonna do yours, then we'll start probably doing a cream, no?
Andrés se va a morir ahorita. So.
You would look crazy with that thing on your head. So the light would be like, what's going on?
I told you. Go get the battery. Go get the battery and the numbing for me. We're gonna take a small recess. Let's see. Bless you. Please, you guys, like, subscribe this video, subscribe my channel. We got pretty much halfway through the front. We're gonna work on the crown area, and we should be done in the next I would say 20 minutes or so. I'm gonna get my touch-ups too as well. So
Charge the batteries.
stay tuned.